African masses in the United States include lyrics that calls Africans Nigger, and have a parenthesis AS, refers to women folk as B's and H's, and brags about and encourages that African people be shot and killed. Whereas the Center for Disease Control and Prevention lists for the top 10 causes of death in the U.S., African Americans are the only group that has homicide listed, with it being number 5. From birth to age 44, it is number 1. Whereas the Clear the Airways Project in 2020 filed formal complaints with the Federal Communications Commission against Chicagoland radio stations WGCI, which is iHeart, and WPWX, which is Proper Broadcasting, for constantly violating FCC decency standards. The FCC finally ruled against the people in favor of the radio stations in January 2022, stating that they trust that their licensees will provide content that is in the best interest of its listeners. In other words, they ruled murder music lyrics were in the best interest of our listeners. Whereas the messages and stereotypes in the music lyric constantly demeans and degrades the African masses, making us more vulnerable to police, courts, and system abuses by constantly promoting false negative images about African people. Therefore, be it resolved that the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression will demand that the Federal Communications Commission enforce their decency standards and properly sanction radio stations and other mass media outlets under their governance that broadcast content that plays indecent, profane, obscene content that promotes and encourages gun violence, specifically targeting the young African masses. Be it further resolved that the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression will be a part of the United Front Against Murder Music and support its direct and indirect actions against those who finance, sponsor the broadcasting of music lyrics and songs that call for violence, mental and physical, against African people. Be it further resolved that the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression suggests that all artistic content presented in our events programs do not include dangerous content that degrades us with racial epithets.
All right, so is there any debate? Seeing hands, we will take, is there any hands for the amendment? All right, any hands against the resolution? Any hands against the resolution? So I see the motion there, comrade, in the back.